What's up, guys? It's Ricky, and I saw this post of Letoya. She's a presenter, actor slash musician. She sings. She's very good. But recently, she's been doing kind of like this performance stuff, and she kind of like dresses as a Zion prophetess with the robes around her waist and stuff like that. And so it's like one of those in the Sangoma world, I think they call them those ones that have ingelosi, basically looks like that kind of lane. In those ones, they say they work with the spirit. They might not throw the bones, but they work with the spirit, or an angel or something like that. More talking on the lines of the subject matter of this version of spirituality that's becoming very popular in South Africa. This is pseudo-Christianity, okay? It finds a version of God that it likes, and then it creates its own version out of that. So they find some God that's spoken about publicly, and then they make their version of it. That's what African spirituality in a lot of sects is. What it is, it's a version of something they found that they twisted. You think of ZCC, it's the same thing. He went to all these churches. We're going to talk about that later on. He went to Zion, he went to Watwad, he had fights with all these church leaders and whatnot. He had issues in all these churches. Then he went on and created his own version. You think Apostle Mokoena. Apostle Mokoena, same thing. Graduate of, went to Rhema Bible Church. He finds his own charlatan ways, okay? He finds his own version of Christianity, and he patents that as Christian, or he patents that as a form of belief in God or something like that. This stuff is very dangerous because it deviates or it steals away from the core of the message. You see, in a lot of these places, they will talk about the blood of Jesus. And this is where the deception is. They will talk about the blood of Jesus. They'll talk about Jesus dying on the cross. They'll talk about Jesus dying for our sin. But there will never be an exact confession in these churches. A lot of Zion churches, okay, not all of them. There's Zion churches that actually do preach the Bible, as I've stated before. A lot of Zion churches, what you will find is that they talk about these things, but there's never a proclaimed faith. The same way we have said, this is why these people are not moved to evangelize or to bring people to the gospel. Why? There is no proclamation. They don't have a proclaimed, we call it a statement of faith. In charismatic Christianity, Pentecostal Christianity, and so forth, it's very popular. We do that a lot. We have a proclamation or a mission statement of the church. A mission statement of the church tells you what the church believes. So in some churches you will find we believe in the death and the resurrection of the Messiah. We believe that Jesus is God. We believe that the Bible is authoritative over the believer's life. We believe that God is God alone. He does not share with others. We believe that God has a relationship after the death of Jesus Christ. We believe that the death of Jesus Christ achieved for us or gave us a redemption in relationship back to God, and it does give us the free gift to dwell with God for eternity in heaven. So this is some of the statements you might find. You find it in variety or in different what. Other churches, they even go as far as talking about the apostles and stuff like that. The apostles did this, and then they kind of mention those things. But the core root of the matter here is What do they believe about Jesus? What do they believe about the sin of man? Or what is their doctrine of man? The fall. How do they speak about the fall? And so in a lot of churches, pseudo-Christianity or pseudo-thinking, how do you know something is false belief? They will mention, he died for us. Like I heard this song, where she was singing, I don't know what she was exactly, There is a version of a God who's a helper, a God who's forgiver, but there's never directly a proclamation of faith. And I think this is where the deception is for a lot of people. They find it difficult to stray themselves away from it because they don't see the problems it creates. You see, there's a reason why 2 Corinthians repeats the proclamation of the Christian or the statement of faith of a Christian or the mission statement of a Christian. By mission statement, we mean this is what we stand on. There is a reason why Corinthians repeated it. It's because people will take it and twist it up to whatever they want. And in this modern day, that's what we have. We have a problem of people who have taken versions. They are okay with just saying Jesus, but there's never a proclaimed faith. That's a lot in Africa. There's a lot of that. They will say, yeah, Maria Jesu, blah, 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 blah. Then they talk about something else. Yeah, Uraswet, he died for us. Whichever. He died for us on the cross. But they never have a proclaimed faith. So what it is, it's in America, they call it a crossless gospel. Because the cross has a meaning to it. Now we have to give an answer for it. What the individual's faith is. This is why the conversation between Jesus and Nicodemus is so important. Because it highlights, and she's very vocal, by the way. Letoya is very vocal about her beliefs and stuff like that. She's like, post that a lot on her Instagram page. It's like practically like Sangoma land on her Instagram page. But I want to note this point again. You want to spot pseudo-Christianity. It's a lot, especially in Africa. How you spot it is they will say Jesus. Don't be deceived by that. Oh, no, don't be deceived. They will say the cross. He did it on the cross. They'll talk about victory on the cross. The one area where you will not find it's proclamation of the cross. They do not have a statement of faith. They do not have a position on the cross. They have a preference over talking about that. Like I explained, Zion Christian Church and a lot of Zion churches where they dress like Letoya was dressed over there. And how do you see it? She's a Sangoma, and guess what? She's a Sangoma, and then she's doing this. I don't know if it's some form of faith. She's doing this form of faith. This shows you that the person has no direct, they don't have a mission statement. That's pseudo-Christianity in Africa. There's a lot of it, and it's everywhere. And I think it's very dangerous because it deceives people. Okay, now of course it's deceiving people that are not interested in the gospel, right? They're interested in themselves, they're interested in whatever they believe. She can go be a Sangoma and keep coming out singing what sounds like gospel. What? Right? Because there isn't a proclaimed faith. And if there is any particular proclaimed faith, it's false doctrine. Now, this video, I wanted to make it because I think this deceives a lot of people. I think there's a lot of people that are trapped there. They're trying to make sense of the 1+1. Yes, it's pseudo-Christianity. It will say Jesus, it will say God, it will say heaven. They will say the Bible. They will quote 1 or 2 verses. The one thing they will not have is a mission statement for the gospel. They will not have a Jesus died on the cross they will not have that entire thing. Now, you might meet one person who wants to claim it. Like previously, we had that guy from ZCC out there saying, yeah, no, we don't believe that. You see that's honest. It's straightforward. But there's a lot of pseudo-Christianity in Africa. And what does it do? It shades itself. This is what the Bible calls. They have a look of godliness, but they lack. They lack in what brings them to relationship with God. Do not let this version deceive you.